Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new around here, my name's Danielle, I'm a wife and I'm a mum of one. I have a little boy named Leo who is 23 months today. I post videos every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and if I do have any extra content, I will post it on a Monday or a Saturday at 7 p.m. Now, as you probably guessed from the title, we have just successfully potty trained our little boy. So we had him potty trained at 22 months old. I just wanted to start by saying that it's in no way to compete with anyone that I'm posting this video. Like, kids do things in their own time. You know, they all sit up and crawl and walk and talk in their own time at different ages. So it's not sort of made to do that. I just wanted to share a few tips that we used because I thought it might help, you know, other mums out there. I certainly got some of these tips from other mums and they worked for us, whereas there was some other tips that we got that didn't work for us. So I thought I'd put them all together and share them and hopefully they can be helpful to you and your family. Okay, our first tip is actually probably the most successful tip that we were given from someone on Instagram. We tried potty training Leo a few months back because he's been showing signs of readiness since he was about 15 months old, which is really early. But we initially started by letting him choose some pants, this is before lockdown, and putting him straight in the pants, and he just didn't get it. He was just weeing straight through. Like, I think it got to about 8:30 in the morning and we'd gone through the whole pack of 6 pants and he just didn't get it. Yet he would, if he had a nappy on and we pulled his nappy down, he would like wee on the potty or the toilet. So we kind of just gave up. And then someone suggested on Instagram that you try the no pants method. And this is really helpful as the weather's been obviously a little bit warmer at the moment and it made all the difference. So within about 3 weeks, we decided to start again. We really wanted to make the most out of lockdown and being at home. I would have started potty training him earlier if I'd have been able to take a week off work to do it, because that was always my plan. But obviously being in lockdown, we thought we may as well take the opportunity. So yeah, we tried just having him bare from the waist down whilst indoors, obviously. And then we could easily get him on the potty. And if you have got a little boy, you can kind of see when they need to go. Yeah, I'll leave it there. If you're a boy mum, you'll definitely know. And that just made all the difference. He could feel himself that he needed to go. And sometimes he might have like a little like dribble and be like, oh goodness, like wee. And then he would run to the potty or run to the toilet. But that just kind of clicked for us with Leo. That made such a big difference. So yeah, that first tip, the no pants method, obviously they can't stay like that. They do need to wear clothes, which he goes around fully dressed now, absolutely fine. So we did that for the first 5 days, and then yeah, it absolutely clicked. Now my second tip is to ask every 20 minutes, at least for the first week of potty training. So every 20 minutes, you could even set a timer on your phone if you wanted to, but I think as a parent, you're so conscious that they're going to wheel all over your floor that you'll just do it anyway. Just to remind him, because obviously when he's playing or if he's watching the TV or eating, he can be a little bit distracted. So at first we would ask every 20 minutes, like, do you need the toilet? Do you need a wee? Constantly asking him, and sometimes it did prompt him to be like, yes, I do, and then kind of went. But now, yeah, he'll just let us know himself. It's absolutely fine. But at the start, they definitely need a little bit of help of reminding, because they get so distracted that they just forget that they need to go. My third tip is to have some sort of reward system. Now we have a sticker chart that we started off using, and my lovely sister made for us. I'll insert a clip of that now. And we had this on the fridge, and we can actually use some little magnets that I got from the poundshop.com on the fridge, and then we can just clear them all the next day so that we can reuse it over and over. Another little tip that I have as well is after about 3 weeks of potty training, we had a day where he just completely relapsed, which is completely normal. He just kept having accidents, and whereas before if he had an accident he would get really upset and he'd be bothered by it. This day he just didn't care. He was laughing, he was like, oh, it's funny, and we were trying really hard not to get frustrated with it. But we brought out the good old bribery method, and we bought a packet of free from chocolate buttons, and for the next few days, every wee or poo that he did on the toilet or potty, he got 1 chocolate button. And so obviously he wasn't having like hundreds of packs or something of buttons a day. I don't think we got through 1 pack in a day. yeah, that really helped. That just reeled it back in for us, really. As soon as we started doing that, he's been clean ever since. So now and again, we'll pop out a little chocolate button. If we can tell he's holding it and he's crossing his legs a little bit, and for some reason he just doesn't want to sit in the potty, we'll just use a bit of bribery and say, oh, if you sit and have a wee now, you can have a chocolate button, and he'll do it. So we don't give them all the time, but now and again, we will pull that one out of the bag. Now, my next tip is that we didn't want to confuse him during the day. So for nap time, he doesn't have a nappy. He goes down in his pants still. For the whole time that we have done this, he has only had 2 accidents during that time. One of them was completely my fault. I didn't hear him calling out for me to say that he was awake. I was in the kitchen preparing dinner for afterwards when he woke up. And when I got up there, he was so upset that it had already started coming out, like he'd wet the bed, and I felt dreadful. So that was the first time. And the second one, he'd weed during his sleep, and he gets really embarrassed. It's only ever happened twice, but he gets really, really embarrassed if I go in there and there was a wet in the bed and he was trying to cover it over and hide it, and he goes all sad and sulks a little bit. But yeah, we don't like to confuse him during nap time, and we keep the nappy off. My next tip is before any outings, like you might be going on a walk at the moment, obviously when we get to go out for a day again sometime in the future, or before nap times, always make sure that they have a wee or sit on the toilet and try first. This just minimises your accidents. We will not leave the house or put him down for bed or for nap time until he's had a wee, because if he doesn't, we know within minutes of leaving the house he is going to need to go. It's always the way. My next tip is if you don't have a downstairs toilet, then definitely invest in a potty. If we had a downstairs toilet, I probably wouldn't have even got a potty, to be honest. We would have just put him straight in the toilet, because he does actually prefer it, especially for when he's going number 2. He will ask to go on the toilet upstairs because he prefers to sit down and do it there, which is fine by me because it means I don't have to clean the potty out with a great big poo. So yeah, if you don't have a downstairs toilet, invest in a potty, just because they can't hold it all the way up the stairs sometimes. They need something that's really quick. If he's playing in the garden, I can just get the potty out in the garden so that he doesn't get too lazy to want to come back in again. And that's really helped us as well. This is the potty that we ended up getting. I actually ordered it from Matalan, but it is the brand Newbie. Leo really likes this because it looks like a real toilet. He calls it his little toilet. It's got the insert in here that you can lift out so you can empty it really easily. I think it was about £20. Obviously you can get them a lot cheaper, and you could go with the approach of letting your child choose their own potty. But yeah, this is the one that we got. My next tip is if you are going out on a walk, however far it is, for the first few weeks maybe at least, take the potty with you. You can get some really good portable ones. At the moment we're just using the insert from our one indoors, but when it comes to the time where we can actually go places, I will invest in a nice portable potty where you can seal whatever's in there, it doesn't spill out, because there's not always going to be a place where we can just tip it into a bush in the forest or wherever we are at the moment. If I'm in a shopping centre and I can't get to the toilets quick enough, I'm going to need to be able to store it and it not just be me walking through the shopping centre holding a wee in a potty. So invest in one you can take outside. My next tip is to keep the bathroom door open when yourself, and if you've got a partner, are at home, so that you can model and lead by example. I know it's a little bit gross, but they do copy us and they learn from us. So making it normal in the house to openly talk about it and for them to see you go in really helps them and helps it kind of click and register with them. It's something that you just have to get used to. I'm sorry if you get offended by any toilet talk. I've tried to keep it as nice as possible, but you can't really get around it, can you? There's going to be lots of wee and poo poo talk whilst you're potty training. I think a very important thing to consider when you're thinking about potty training is to make sure that the signs are there, that they're ready, because if they're not, they're just not going to do it. A lot of the signs for us that we had with Leo is he didn't like being dirty. If he'd gone to the toilet, he was trying to pull the nappy off and he was pulling it down. He got to the stage where he would tell us every time he was doing a wee and a poo in his nappy whilst he was doing it. So he just wasn't enjoying, obviously, being in his own mess, which, fair enough, of course not. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let us know in the comments down below. And if you have any other tips you'd like to share with other mums, please let me know in the comments down below so other people can see it. And if you do like this kind of thing, then please subscribe and stick around. Bye guys.